Chapter-2 No Memory Comes. Part 1 The boy leaves his parents on the beach and wanders up to the dunes. Night has fallen and the lights of holiday sacks are budding on the hill. There is no wind. He hears a voice, slows down, homes in on it, and falls to his belly at the vegetated lips of the razor-back dune. Down in the bowl between hills he sees two bodies. Hears them whispering, the sand on the declivity is fine and wind is smooth. As he sifts, a tiny ripple begins, he moves back, and the soul rolls down. A shout. The boy sees a man's body rising against the luminous sand, pulling off his pants. The boy turns and surfs back down the face of the incline with the sound of Scylla behind him. He fights his way through the wide seas, upslope, down trough, from shadow to light, until he comes out on the flat beach where his mother and father sit talking low and he sees no one is behind. Happy New Year, his mother says. Happy New Year, his father says. A year has passed, he is older. He doesn't believe it. That night he climbs into bed between his parents. His father muffles a weedy fart. His mother sleeps with a click in her throat. The boy warms in and gets ready to dream that the new year will never come. Everything is fine right now. He has no need of it. Part 2 The boy is in love with school. He knows he's young. He knows he doesn't need to fly to Hong Kong every week or wash clothes. He only has to go to school and say things right and try hard. He only has to see his friends and not get caught playing British bulldog. On the way home he walks with a boy from the Catholic school. They both live on the hill behind the beach. In the summer they are in the same swimming classes. They patter kick and their dog dives are about the same. By the end of summer they are best friends. Summer go by, but the boy knows everything stays the same. Even at 12 he doesn't feel any older. At the end of one summer the boy and his friend, on their way to beach, find a man dead in his car. There is a hose from the exhaust going into the boat. It takes them along to decide the man is not asleep. When the ambulance comes and the men break the windows to pull the man out, the boys see the upholstery look of the dead man's face. When the ambulance leaves, the boy's friend begins to cry. He tells the boy that he wets the bed every night, and once his father tied the white pajama around his neck and sent him to the Catholic school like that. This is his biggest secret. The boy sits on the curb and watches his friend's fist. In the vacant lot behind, the wind stirs the whispering old oaths. Later that week, the boy visited his friend's place and pieces in his father's golf buggy. He's older now, he knows, but he knows too that he and his friend will never change. Part 3 The boy goes to the high school. He likes it after a while, though it is never as good as primary school. His friend leaves the Catholic school and they are in the same classes. The boy still has weekends of the coast with his parents in a little asbestos house. His father drinks beer and his mother reads. After school the boy and his friend ride down to the beachfront and if there is no surf they play pinball and pool at the snake pit and minder binders. They see bickies and rockers. The boy knows his mother came here when she was a Ouija. He has never seen a Ouija, but he feels it is right that the place should still be there for him. Sometimes the boy and his friend lie on the sand and talk about where they will hide when the world ends. They talk about God now and then, but it always brings them back to the end of the world. One afternoon, they're on the sand with $1 worth of chips. They make a vow to look out for each other when it happens. They know it is only a matter of time. The burger joints wink and curls hang over them and everything is solemn. Part 4 The boy hears his mother on the phone. When she is finished, she tells him his father is not coming back from Hong Kong because he has fallen in love with the house girl. She lights a cigarette. He goes into the bathroom, locks the door, turns the shower on full belt, and cries. He beats the tile wall and his knuckles lift. His mother gets a job. The boy comes home to an empty house. He does his homework. He mucks around with his best friend. He doesn't go up the coast anymore, even though his mother got the beach house and the divorce settlement. The boy looks through old photo albums. Part 5. The boy bores people at parties. He tells them everything he remembers. He remembers everything. He knows the name of every song on every old record. He knows the name of every member of his first class. He knows the name of every boy a girl has ever liked. When everyone gets his hair cut and gelled, he keeps his long. His Hawaiian shirt make people laugh. Girls get drunk and go to sleep in his lap. After every party he waits for his friend, cleans the vomit off him, separates him from a clinging girl, and they go home together. Everything stays the same between them. At 16 they buy a car together. They save by selling milk bars, their own empty bottles. They sell their bikes. The boy sells his newest record. They wash cars. They get a paper round. The car is an old H.R. Holden. They paint it green with brushes and house paints. The boy's friend is the first to turn 17 and get a license to drive. Together they cruise along the coast and into the city. One night rockers kick the windscreen in a traffic light. The U-turn into a one-way street. They have to turn around again on the footpath. Back on the beach where it is quiet, they buy a bottle of green ginger wine and remember it. The boy's friend gets a regular girlfriend. The boy doesn't mind. They all ride around together. She graduates from the back seat to the front. After a while, the boy finds himself sitting in the back. He doesn't mind. In the back, he stretches out and tells all the stories. On lonely hills overlooking the river, cruising down neon streets on hot nights, parked beneath the sound of girls and pinball machines, he tells them how it is used to be. The boy's friend and the girl are voted head boy and head girl at school. He boasts for his friend because they are best mates. He boasts for the girl out of loyalty. People say they make a fine couple. At the school ball, the boy gets so drunk his friend makes him go outside and sleep in the car. He wakes to the sound of rocking on the front seat. At the girl's final squall, his jeans fill with a terrible heat. He swears things are the same. The boy's friend keeps the car at his own place even though they both drive now. The boy doesn't mind. His friend still picks him up and he rides in the back and drinks beer and passes out and wakes to a little squall. Signs go up all over the beachfronts. Redevelopment, high-rise project, luxury hotel, observation tower. The boy doesn't believe it will happen. The beach has always been the same, even for his mother. Through his bedroom window in the early morning, he's woken by the sound of bulldozers. Someone will stop it. He knows they will. Part 6. The boy finishes his final year exams. The year has almost ended. Our air no longer feels like air. Summer seems patchy and short. After the graduation party, he rides with his friend and the girl down to the beach where they drink beer from the jagged end of the bottle they open on the door. The burger joints and pinball parlors are gone. Security fences and push floorlights surround the cranes and the ugly bones of the hotel tower. The boy feels a hole open in him. He strains beer through his teeth. His friend and the girl flex on the front seat, but he can't absent himself. There's a faint, wet breeze, but nothing moves outside. Twisted cartons and stock flat wrappers park on the sap hold. The cyclone wire fences glint salty with moisture. Down on the sand, gulls make clumps of themselves and sleep. In a week he will no longer be schoolboy. Every morning he wakes with a hard ball of panic in his stomach. The wet butcher shop sound of lips and tongues. The girl sighs. From the back seat the boy begins a story about how he once caught so many prawns in the river with his father that they had to take off their clothes and tie knots in the arms and legs and use them as bags to carry prawns that overflowed the tops. The girl springs up off the seat in front, breast afloat, and turns the radio on full blade. For a while the boy stays stuck fast in the corner of the back seat. The song makes the whole car vibrate. He feels his eyes itching, he holds his breath. The beach is a place where a man can feel he is the only soul in the world that's for real. It's an old record, a mob of things rush him. He remembers. And I see a face coming through the haze. I remember him through the crazy days. People should be born old and die young. He thinks, grow back, grow back. Memories everywhere. His friend starts the car. The boy jerks. Next year no one will know them. They buy more beer under the lights of the drive in the bottle shop. The boy remembers the sack of the cost. Remembers the sunburn so bad his mother bathed him with vinegar. No beginnings then and no endings. From the back seat he tells them about the beach sack. The girl says it's too far and why didn't he remember it before? He shrugs. Thought you were a professional rememberer, she says. They drive up the highway with her laughing. The boy sits in the back trying to catch his friend's eye in review mirror. He gulps down a can of beer. He sits back with all the windows open and feels the wind take him. Remembers the haze coming down on the beach. Outside the city, the hot, moist night smells of grass, backyards, summer. The girl's perfume streaks back to him, triggering. His mother? No. A squeal outside the gym and a flash of heat. Down a narrow limestone road they wind. Here the dunes are bald and creeping. Sound of happy surf. The air smells of peppery coastal plants. Black shapes merge as houses. The boy points out an asbestos place. He opens his third can and pours it scalding cold down his throat. With the motor off there is only the sound of the sea. There is no key. The boy gets the jack out of the car and puts it through a window. He doesn't feel drunk. He is starting to feel dead. The girl calls him an idiot. His friend sheepishly turns the power on. Inside everything is carpeted with dust. Walking on the linoleum, they leave footprints. Around the walls stand big iron beds and on shelves fat paper bags. A wicker clay pot in the sink drain the skeleton of mouse. Out of his deadness the boy feels panic coming. They sit on the beds, the girl sighs. His friend looks away. The boy looks at his friend's girl. She's slim and brown and her breasts stand up under her singlet top. She has dark, small lips and deep eyes. He asks, aren't you afraid of getting old? She asks, is there any beer left? His friend gets out of the car. He sniffs and follows. The boy watches their footprints. Nothing. His friend comes back. No beer left. Is he all right? Doesn't he want to go to home? But the boy springs up and begins to hunt for beer. His father kept loads of it. The boy tears cupboards open and guards them, tossing aside bloated tins of pork and rice cream, where his friend stands by. The girl comes inside and asks, where is the toilet? The boy points the way and keeps rooting in the cupboards. When he returns, she holds out an old can, a rusty, unopened beer can. The boy takes it. Must be 1,000 years old, his friend says. It has no rip top. It is the kind people used to open in a knife-like opener. The boy drags a drawer out and finds the old black opener. It looks like a Scythe. You can't drink it, his friend says, but the boy knows he can. There are no memories coming, of course he can. He slams the flaky old can into the Laminex table, presses it against his thigh, brings the point of the blade to rest on the corroded top. Hard to get a purchase, he leans down hard on the blade. The cane slips aside. He feels the cold shock of steel in his groin. He takes in a jet of air. The cane rolls across the table and thumps on the floor, keeps rolling. What? His friend looks at him. What? The girl says. The boy looks at the blood on his hand. His friend grabs him and for a moment they hold hands like that, gore slipping between their fingers. His friend looks down. Oh, sit, oh. Laugh, the boy thinks, losing his grip, laugh. Part 7. Wind tears at him, tearing him down. The motor beats like a heart in his ears. There is heat in his jeans, a warm, warm bath. Air starts to feel like air again, but no memory comes.